Last night, the Lakers played the Mavericks in Dallas. This is maybe one of the craziest things I've ever seen in all of sports. They play Luka Doncic a tribute video. I didn't expect them not to, but all of the fans are cheering for Luka Doncic every time he scores. All of the fans are chanting, "Fire Nico Harris." I've never seen an entire arena of fans hate on its own team to this level. Not even close. I've never seen this before. This is insane. And imagine being a Dallas Mavericks fan right now. I hate the Sixers so much, but imagine if 25-year-old Joel Embiid, right? When he's on when he's on MVP tears, he's putting up historic numbers. They just fall short in the playoffs. Imagine they trade him the next season, healthy. And he comes back for another team and drops 60 on the Sixers. I don't think this has ever happened before. A player this age with this level of star power. And I don't think you're ever going to see it again. This is the weirdest, dumbest NBA trade I've ever seen. And he gave him 45, by the way. He watched the tribute video. He had 31 points at halftime. He gave him a 45 piece. It was actually a close game, but the Lakers ran away with it in the fourth quarter. But I've never seen anything like this. And how do you make this trade? This is why I say it was set up by the NBA, because how do you make this trade? I was listening to NBA radio today, and Brian Scalabrine was talking about you should have went to every other NBA team and saw what everybody was offering, and how did you do this, and you should have got this many picks and this many picks, and you should have at least got Austin Reeves and more first-round picks and all. Yeah, because it was a setup. That should tell you clear. There's no way it wasn't a setup. Rudy Gobert got traded for 5 first-round picks. Mikal Bridges got traded for 5 first-round picks. You're telling me 25-year-old superstar Luka Doncic, who has the ability to make any team instantly good, got traded for Anthony Davis and a first-round pick? Are you kidding me? There's no way it wasn't a setup. Or let's say it wasn't a setup. If this was not rigged by the NBA, then I don't even think this was Nico Harris. I know Dallas Mavericks fans hate Nico Harris right now, right? He's taking the fall for everything. But much like the Sixers trading Mikal Bridges on draft night, I don't think even the dumbest GM on the planet could do something like this, because guess what? Ownership has to approve these things. You can't just have a GM who's going off the wall, hitting red buttons left and right, fucking everything up. Ownership has to approve these things. And when I think about the Sixers trading Mikal Bridges on draft night, I've been saying for years, it clearly wasn't Brett Brown and Elton Brand coming up with a plan. It was Sixers ownership group thinking that they're playing 2K with $1 billion franchise. So if this wasn't set up by the NBA, this was Dallas Mavericks owners making a drastic decision because they think they know what they're doing and they don't. To me, this was a couple of billionaire dipshits that saw how the Dallas Mavericks lost in the NBA Finals. They saw the defensive issues of Luka Doncic. They saw his conditioning and his attitude and how he seems like he doesn't care to get back into shape, and he had his own trainer and all this stuff. They saw all of that stuff, and here's what they said. People that know nothing about basketball but just have a lot of money, here's what they said. Listen, guys, if we lost in the finals because of defense, right? Everyone can agree with that, right? We already have Kyrie Irving. We trade Luka Doncic for defense, we win the NBA championship. This is what they thought because they don't know what they're talking about. The only reason the Dallas Mavericks were anywhere close to even the NBA playoffs was Luka Doncic. I think this was owners making a decision, much like the Sixers did with the Mikal Bridges trade. Not that that's even close to this level. Still one of the worst trades in history, though. I think this was owners making a decision because sometimes you get sports owners that think they know what they're doing and they don't. That's the only explanation for something this drastic. And it goes down now as probably the worst trade in the history of the NBA. And if the Lakers end up winning or even getting close to the NBA Finals, it is definitely the worst trade in NBA history. But I don't think it was Nico Harrison at all. I think it was another case of moron billionaires who think they know what they're doing. They think they're playing 2K and they can just trade one player for another. And, well, if we get Anthony Davis, then we'll have good defense. And then because we lost because of defense. Stupid. Absolutely stupid. And I just saw yesterday that the Dallas Mavericks are projected to lose over the next several years billions of dollars in revenue. So not only this is why these things don't happen, because owners usually don't think basketball terms at all. This is why Josh Harris doesn't do shit like this, because he never thinks in basketball terms. He thinks in business terms. This is why the Sixers would never trade Joel Embiid when they probably should have, because owners usually never think in basketball terms. They think in business terms. And when you trade a guy who is responsible for selling every ticket in the building and every jersey in the building, you better have a plan to make up that revenue somehow. And now they're projected to lose billions of dollars over the next couple of years. Because what are Mavericks fans doing? Buying Anthony Davis jerseys? Fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. It's crazy, and I can't even fathom how this happened. And I can't even fathom being a Dallas Mavericks fan, because how now do you even root for this basketball team? How now do you even root for this basketball team? The Sixers push me to the brink all the time. But this, as a fan, would probably push me. I would be done. I would be done with the. I would never be a fan of this team again. You know what I'm saying? And the ownership thing, thinking if we trade this guy for defense, then we'll go straight to the NBA Finals, or we lost because of defense, so if we get some defenders, then we win the finals. This is the same reason they traded Caleb Martin. Or they traded Quentin Grimes for Caleb Martin. That proves my point even more. Dude, you traded Quentin Grimes for Caleb Martin. Trading Quentin Grimes for Caleb Martin might be crazier than trading Luka for AD. Dude, that trade might be worse. Caleb Martin sucks, man. Let's look at Caleb Martin's recent games, because I remember Sixers fans telling me Caleb Martin is untouchable. They said this around the trade deadline. Don't trade Kelly Oubre. Don't trade Caleb Martin. We need his defense. They say that all the time. They say that all the time. They say this all the time. They said this about Ben Simmons. We need his defense. Shut up. He sucks, man. When this guy started for the Sixers, I said, what the fuck is this? Remember that? When he was shooting the ball like he was throwing a 20-pound dumbbell? It looked like he was doing a shot put. And then he had shoulder impingement, and then he came back with the broken shot. This guy was cooked from day one. Look at it, and then I don't know how you end up trading him to the Dallas Mavericks. I don't know, because all the Dallas Mavericks saw was playoff defense. That's all they saw. That's all the Sixers saw when they signed him, but that's all the Dallas Mavericks saw. Playoff defense. We lost in the NBA Finals because of defense. If we trade Luka for AD and we trade Grimes for Caleb Martin, then we win because of defense. That's stupid, but that's what happened. Let's look at Caleb Martin since he joined the Mavericks. 9 points, 7 points, 0 points, 8 points, 7 points, 2 points, 5 points, out with a right hip strain, out with a right hip strain, out, 8 points, 7 points, 3 points, 2 points, out, 0 points. Look at Caleb Martin for the Sixers. Out. 5, 8, 8, 17 against Brooklyn. Woo! 2, 12, 7, 5, 23 against Boston. 12, 8, out, 0, 2, 9, 5, out, 3, 10, 2, 12, 3, 18, 17, 5, 13, 14, 5, 9, 7, 17, 11, 12, 10, 7, 7, 7, 0, 5. You suck. Let's look at Quentin Grimes since he joined the Sixers. 17, 29, 28, 24, 26, 15, 22, 26, 25, 28, 46, 28, 29, 35, 25, 30. Hot take. This trade is worse than the Luka trade. And again, it's billionaires playing 2K. That's what it is. Stop with this Caleb better than Grimes, for goodness sake. Dude has janky looking shot and no confidence he could not guard Luka at all. Who said Caleb was better than Grimes? Is somebody saying that? Caleb Martin is a better defender than Grimes, though. Caleb clears Grimes defensively. Oh my God, dude. Oh my God. Again, some of you guys think that you're playing Pokemon. That's what you think. You think you're playing Pokemon. You think if you have all the best cards and then you put your card up against the other player's cards, you win the game. Except you have to actually play basketball. Caleb Martin clears Grimes defensively. Cool. When he's not hurt. Cool. 5 years ago. Yes, if I had a championship roster that was just missing a 3-and-D wing 5 years ago, I would love to have Caleb Martin on my team.